您好，我是光启社的社长马绍阿基，欢迎您收看这一周的罗马主场 Rome Report。在新闻的首先，我们带您来看教宗方济各在保禄六世大厅继续讲授真福第3端，温良的人是有福的。教宗说，温良表现在发生冲突的时刻，在面对敌意时的反应，尤其是在遭受攻击或是冒犯中，人们更应该彰显温良。
Pope Francis stopped to greet the many pilgrims who came to his general audience in Paul VI Audience Hall. He read banners and letters prepared for him and was even given flowers. In his catechesis, he reflected on the third beatitude, Blessed are the meek. He explained the meek are those who are sweet, gentle, and avoid violence.
La mitezza si manifesta nei momenti di conflitto. Si vede da come si reagisce a una situazione ostile. Chiunque potrebbe sembrare mite quando tutto è tranquillo, ma come reagisce sotto pressione se viene attaccato, offeso e aggredito?
He said that meekness and possession of land are related, but instead of conquering land, the gospel says the people of God inherit the land.
Quella terra è una promessa, è un dono per il popolo di Dio e diventa segno di qualcosa di molto più grande di un semplice territorio. C'è una terra, permettete il gioco di parole, che è il cielo, cioè la terra verso cui non camminiamo.
He said the meek are not cowards, but rather safeguard his or her inheritance courageously, seeking out God.
Il mite non è un accomodante, ma è il discepolo di Cristo che ha imparato a difendere ben altra terra. Lui difende la sua pace, difende il suo rapporto con Dio, difende i suoi doni, i doni di Dio, custodendo la misericordia, la fraternità, la fiducia, la speranza.
Pope Francis thus said the meek are trustworthy, create relationships with others, and are merciful toward their neighbor, instead of revengeful. They understand in their core that they are children of God.
Spirito Santo.
教宗方济各最近在梵蒂冈出席一场会议，与会者包括国际货币基金会总裁以及来自世界各地的经济部长。教宗方济各说，今日的罪恶结构包括以投资或发展为由，不断为富人提供税务的优惠，并让私人和企业逃税。他要求金融组织和各国政府致力促进公益、社会正义和整体的发展，以免沦为罪恶的结构。
Pope Francis participated in a meeting in the Vatican with the director of the International Monetary Fund, Kristalina Georgieva, and economy ministers from around the world. The Pope delivered a strong speech which emphasized that people cannot sit back in a world in which more and more people are plunged in misery, when the wealth of a small minority continues to increase.
El principal mensaje de esperanza que quiero compartir con ustedes es precisamente este. Se trata de problemas solucionables y no de ausencia de recursos. No existe un determinismo que nos condene a la inequidad universal. Permítame repetirlo, no estamos condenados a la inequidad universal.
Therefore, he appealed for collective responsibility. He asked each person to do his or her part in putting a finger in the wound of the problem with a very concrete statement.
Si existe la pobreza extrema en medio de la riqueza, también riqueza extrema, es porque hemos permitido que la brecha se amplíe hasta convertirse en la mayor de la historia.
The Pope criticized welfare only being for a select few. He asked financial organizations and governments to work for the common good, social justice, and integral development, so they do not become structures of sin.
Las estructuras de pecado hoy incluyen repetidos recortes de impuestos para las personas más ricas, justificados muchas veces en nombre de la inversión y desarrollo. paraísos fiscales para las ganancias privadas y corporativas, y, por supuesto, la posibilidad de corrupción por parte de algunas de las empresas más grandes del mundo, no pocas veces en sintonía con algún sector político dominante.
Finally, he asked for a renewal of the economy and finances so they collaborate in searching for humanizing solutions to humanity's problems.
教宗方济各最近在主日三中经带领反思耶稣成全法律的教导，他提醒基督徒蒙召透过遵守天主的法律，才能够获享真正的自由。他警告大家，如果忘却这一个教训，自会备受罪恶和偏情奴役。就好比日前因为战争在叙利亚冷死的女孩，就是因为人的偏情私欲、不懂自控而发动战争导致的恶果。
During the Angelus, Pope Francis reflected on Jesus' teaching on the fulfillment of the law. He reminded Christians of their call to live God's law as an instrument of freedom, which he said can make them more free. He warned against the danger of forgetting this attitude and becoming enslaved by sins and passions.
Pensiamo alle guerre, pensiamo alle conseguenze delle guerre, pensiamo quella bambina morta di freddo in Siria l'altro ieri, tante calamità, tante. Questo è frutto delle passioni e la gente che fa la guerra non sa dominare le proprie passioni.
The Pope then said Jesus doesn't change the laws regarding murder, adultery, divorce, and making false oaths. He said Jesus encourages truly accepting these laws instead of observing them merely out of formality.
Accogliendo la legge di Dio nel cuore, si capisce che quando non si ama il prossimo, si uccide in qualche misura se stessi e gli altri. Accogliendo la legge di Dio nel cuore, si capisce che i desideri vanno guidati, perché non tutto ciò che si desidera si può avere.
Pope Francis then acknowledged how difficult it can be to live the commandments so fully and deeply. However, he said, with God, it is possible.
Tutto possiamo farlo con la grazia di Dio. Anzi, la santità non è un'altra cosa che custodire questa gratuità che ci ha dato Dio, questa grazia.
As usual, following the Angelus, the Pope directed special greetings to pilgrims from various countries gathered in St. Peter's Square.
同样也是导致十字军东征的历史因果关系。在西元1054年，罗马教会与拜占庭从最初的手足关系，因为首席权之争导致教会的分裂。有历史学者说，那是在福音传到保加利亚的年代，当时东西方教会在争论新加入的信徒应归哪一方管辖。当时罗马派出一位不善外交的人员出面处理。而他不但未能与拜占庭宗主教达成协议，还将宗主教处以绝罚，导致君士坦丁堡宗主教召开了主教会议，也将罗马主教处以绝罚。而这个事件导致了教会在体制上的分裂。
Rome and Byzantium were the primary centers of Christianity in the first millennium. However, what began as a brotherly relationship turned into a dispute over supremacy, which ended with the rupture in the year 1054.
La Europa occidental, mirada.
Western Europe, from Byzantium's perspective, was a chaotic world. The city of Rome had less than 20,000 inhabitants. Byzantium, in turn, was the cradle of culture. Historians say that in the Byzantine Empire, people would go to bakeries and discuss theology. The split was a result not of differing doctrines nor heresy. It was rather a consequence of cultural incompatibility between the two.
The tipping point was the question of control. These were the years of the evangelization of the Bulgarians, and there were disputes between East and West about which jurisdiction newly converted Christians belonged to.
para lograr aclarar esa
To resolve the dispute, a rather undiplomatic person was sent from Rome. He failed to come to an agreement with the Patriarch of Byzantium, so he excommunicated him. So the Patriarch of Constantinople convoked his synod and in turn excommunicated the Bishop of Rome.
This episode marked an institutional split. Separation at the social level would come only 150 years later as the result of the Fourth Crusade. The objective was supposedly to free the Holy Land from the Muslims. However, while on their way, the Venetians sacked Constantinople, their adversary in the struggle for hegemony in the Mediterranean.
Il vero scisma.
The real schism between Rome and Constantinople took place in the year 1204 and not in 1054. The cause was entirely political. The Venetians did something that repeats itself throughout history. They defined themselves first as Venetians and then as Christians. They turned the faith into a second priority.
Although the split was not due to doctrinal reasons, it did reinforce differences of opinion regarding the role of the successor of St. Peter in relation to the rest of the bishops. In the West, up until the Second Vatican Council, this role took on the status of a monarch. In the East, the Church was more collegial, despite being tied to civil authorities.
Ahora estamos dando un paso más.
Now we're taking another important step because we've realized we begin to understand more profoundly the synodal structure of the Church. In the East, this structure had been the reality for many centuries.
Il vescovo di Roma.
What's the role of the bishop in Rome? The Orthodox world invokes the concept of synodality. Pope Francis says we must rediscover this idea because it's the essence of the Church.
In fact, Nikos Zoitis remembers that Pope Francis, when he was elected, introduced himself first as Bishop of Rome, then as Pope.
Voi sapete che il dovere del conclave era di dare un vescovo a Roma.
This gesture meant a lot to the Orthodox Church, so much so that the Ecumenical Patriarch of Constantinople decided to participate in the inaugural Mass of his pontificate. None of his predecessors since the split in 1054 had done so. Pope Francis and the Ecumenical Patriarch have met on numerous occasions. The next big step they could take together might be the celebration, in 2025, of 17 centuries since the First Ecumenical Council. The idea would be to invite all Christian leaders to participate and send the world a big message. Reconciliation is possible. There are between 200 and 300 million Orthodox Christians spread throughout 15 Orthodox churches around the world. The most important, from a spiritual perspective, is Constantinople. However, the most numerous is the Russian Orthodox Church.
有鉴于培育外交人员的重要性，去年10月的主教会议做成了一项决议，并以书面的形式向教宗方济各提出，未来想要成为圣座外交代表的司铎，必须在自己教区以外的地方传教最少1年。而教宗方济各也回应，这项要求将于圣座外交学院2020到2021学年开始时生效。
From now on, priests who want to be pontifical representatives around the world must dedicate an entire year of their formation to Catholic missionary work in a land other than their own. The suggestion was given to Pope Francis in writing during the Synod.
Que en el servicio diplomático de la Santa Sede, en el currículum de servicio diplomático, los jóvenes sacerdotes al menos pasen un año en tierra de misión, pero no haciendo el tirocinio. Pero no haciendo el tirocinio en la anunciatura como se hace y es muy útil, sino simplemente al servicio de un obispo en un lugar de misión.
The Pope believes it's an advantageous experience for young priests, particularly those desiring to be formed as nuncios. The rule will go into effect in the fall, the beginning of the next academic year, 2020-2021.
新闻最后带您来看100年来一直为有需要的儿童服务的圣马尔大诊所，他们在梵蒂冈城内汇聚了大约50名专家和义工，共同为来自200个家庭的300名儿童提供了基本医疗的照顾。
For nearly 100 years, the Santa Marta dispensary has kept its doors open to serve the most needy children. In this safe environment within the Vatican, almost 50 specialists, doctors, and volunteers provide primary medical care to some 300 children, serving around 280 families. Led by the Daughters of Charity of St. Vincent de Paul.
The greatest satisfaction is seeing the children calmly playing here. They feel at home. For them, it is like a second home, even for some, their first. Also, to see the mothers leaving happy because they get to take home some things they need to provide for their children.
They offer free services including pediatric medicine, dentistry, dermatology, gynecology, and ophthalmology, among other specialties. It's all due to the support of volunteer doctors from Bambino Gesù Hospital, the San Pietro and San Paolo Association, private institutions, and lay volunteers.
In my case, they come down from the dentist's chair, which is not always a comfortable place, and they give you a smile, a hug, a thank you, and that is all we need. We are here for that.
Families in need, mostly immigrants, even non-Catholics, are served in this small clinic located next door to where the Pope lives, Casa Santa Marta.
They are almost always families that need support and help, not just medical. They also need a kind word, some advice. It means concretely being able to give a hand to a specific person.
Colombian Edgar Javier is another collaborator. He says his personal experience has helped him get closer to the patients who come to the clinic.
I have this experience of recognizing the needs of the people who come here. It could be they lack the same things I miss coming from a foreign country. So I share a bit of solidarity with the experiences of the people who come here.
Since its foundation in 1922 with Benedict XV, this initiative has been supported by every pope. In recent years, the clinic and its volunteers thanked him in a very special way with a small birthday party for Pope Francis in the month of December.
感谢您收看这一周的罗马主场 Rome Report， 我是光启社的社长马绍阿基，我们下一周再会，祝福大家平安喜乐。本节目由光启社媒体福传以爱还爱影音工程计划赞助。2020年耶稣会士南怀仁传需要您捐款赞助，详情请洽0227712136光启社。